and welcome to another edition of We Stream, the official reaction channel of epic rap battles of history. If you are new to the channel, I am a musician. I make my own content. You should check it out. Can't stop the hour because somehow you blast his hand to make a glass home. Well, I brought the rock to come at your job. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and all that crap. Links in the description below for how to support this channel, and that's the plug. So, the day of reckoning has come. I was not going to react to this battle until like 50,000 subscribers is what was in my noggin. But then, a week ago today, there was a donation war in the premiere of a battle that led to hundreds of dollars being donated, and many of those dollars were donated in the name of this reaction. And what kind of a man would I be if I didn't gladly take bribes to do stuff? Because on principle, bribes manipulate my behavior. So we have pushed this reaction a lot sooner than I ever anticipated. Now, let's put down some ground rules for you nerds. 1, I am not going to sit here for the next 2 hours and go through all of the possible meaning and backstory to every bar in this rap battle. 2, if I don't mention something, it is not because I missed it, it's because of reason number 1. And 3, for those normies that come to my videos, this is not a reaction, so don't expect me to be reacting. This is a breakdown and analysis. And also, we pause. If you want to watch the original fucking video, go to it. It's in the description. You should not come to this video to see the original uninterrupted. So, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the misery and woe that is me attempting to break down the 4 minutes of Eastern versus Western philosophers. Roll.
Epic rap battles of history. Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu, and Confucius versus Nietzsche, Socrates, and Voltaire.
Okay, so the Eastern philosophers are all Chinese in this. Hallowed be thy name.
I'm coming off the Acropolis to start some pandemonium. Don't bring limp raps to a pimp slap symposium.
Okay. Coming off of Acropolis, that's where Socrates did most of his teachings, was in that little area. So he's saying he's leaving that area that he did his teaching to
stop some
pandemonium. Pandemonium could be taken in several different ways here. It could be reference to the chaos that he caused, reference to some of Plato's works, reference to there's a lot of ways you could interpret that, and that is going to be true of a lot of bars in this battle. For anyone who thinks they have like a monopoly on the truth on a battle with philosophers overthinking shit, I got news for you. Anyway.
Don't bring limp raps to a pimp slap symposium.
Don't bring limp raps to a pimp slap symposium. So there's a couple of meanings to this and some wordplays going on. So first of all, it's kind of a play on don't bring, a knife to a gunfight. Pimp slap symposium to bring kind of rap elements, pimp slapping someone. And then you have the symposium, was usually something that it's either like, depending on which era you're looking at, it could be a gathering of folks for thought. It could also be a gathering of folks just to get drunk and have a party. But he's essentially saying that the Western philosophers are a pimp slap symposium. They're just a bunch of like G's ready to go and drop some knowledge and epicness, and you're just limp rapping into this, you little Chinese noodles. It's okay, Mike. We'll get through this.
The mad gadfly. Philosophy was my invention.
The mad gadfly. A gadfly is a dude that essentially overthinks things and says things just to kind of break the status quo, which is Socrates did that so much that they killed the dude. He basically trolled so hard that they executed him. I'm not making that up. Like, literally, they said, you are corrupting the youth and spreading too much nonsense and weird thought. And Socrates argued for the sake of argument without ever arguing. He would just ask questions until your argument no longer made sense. It's brilliant. A very smart debate tactic. This is why he's usually cited as the father of philosophy. He was the original, but why? So anyway, he's saying that he's a gadfly.
To a pimp slap symposium, the mad gadfly.
Which, like I said, it's just a dude that stirs the pot to stir the pot, but in a thoughtful way. I often do a little bit of the gadfly behaviors myself, if you look at my community posts, just to make people think while pissing them off. Socrates is a man after my own heart in that way.
Philosophy was my invention.
It wasn't his invention, that's a stretch, but he is credited as the father of philosophy, modern philosophy, Western philosophy, because he put structure and rules to it that didn't really apply before.
Rolling with the flyest nihilist. And me, their French henchman.
Hey! We have to talk about something, though. Hold.
Philosophy was my invention. Rolling with the flyest nihilist.
Wrong! Nietzsche was not a nihilist. He had so much writing about why nihilism was not a good thing. The confusion is that what Nietzsche said, like, it was used years after he died, but it was used like in the 1960s and 70s when the postmodern movement were getting popular. Nietzsche was like their blueprint and framework, and they essentially bastardized everything Nietzsche said to be this anarchy of thought in that nihilism was the true path, but they use nihilism to kind of justify that truth is relative to the individual, which again, none of this is what Nietzsche said. They just kind of piecemealed it. The theme with Nietzsche is people taking his crap out of context because he was so cryptic with a lot of what he said that you could take quotes and use them how you wanted. The Germans did it to promote Nazi propaganda, despite the fact that Nietzsche said that all anti-Semites should be shot. Nietzsche has been misused so much, like the whole God is dead thing was actually a commentary on the moral collapse of society, not like a victorious, haha, we're free from the bonds of God and religion. He did criticize God and religion, but God is dead was not a positive thing for Nietzsche, even though most of the shills who follow his philosophy act like he thought that was a good thing. He did not think that was a good thing. He did not think nihilism was a good thing. So no! He is not the flyest nihilist. He is the anti-nihilist. Read his actual crap. This was a concern Nietzsche had. But now he's just considered like a nihilist. No! No! Moving on.
And me, their French henchman. We got the wisdom.
French henchman. You get it? You get it. You get it.
And the wit that even I couldn't question. Dropping Western medicine on these East infections.
Alright, Socrates said they've got the stuff. Well, they both kind of said it, but Socrates said even he couldn't question. Because again, going back to what I said earlier, Socrates questioned everything. That was his thing. That was like his whole gimmicky, kazimic. Was question everything. Anyway, and then Western medicine for these yeast infections, play on yeast infections, and the idea that the Eastern folks, didn't have the same high-tech medicine as the West, and the West has to heal the blah, 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 blah. You get it.
You've never been our type of mental brethren. We're better thinkers, better speakers, better men.
Okay, let's break this down, because each of them said something specific to them in this little breakdown. So first of all, they said, you're not our mental brethren. In other words, I'm smarter than you, nanny nanny doo-doo.
Our type of mental brethren. We're better thinkers, better speakers.
The better thinkers, because of them, Nietzsche is probably considered one of the better thinkers. Socrates says better speakers because he was often speaking, and I don't even think they really had books in his day really that widely, not like printing press. Like, it was just much less written literature, so he was a speaker. Oral tradition, haha, oral. Better lovers because we're going to the Frenchy, haha, for lover, because he was also a notorious ladies' man. Better men, because man stuff.
This type of arrogance is sure to be expected from men who speak of wisdom with no clue of what respect is.
Alright, so this is just kind of opening the door to the main difference between Western and Eastern philosophy, which is Western philosophy is all about flexing that big boy brain and getting knowledge and all this, whereas Eastern philosophy is more of like simply understanding and respecting while you do it. It's not as much of like harsh debate. It's more of just, let's see what we discover. It's much more fluid and calm, and it's also a lot more concise. And there's always more respect in Eastern culture than Western culture, which said, my dad's a moron, screw that guy. Whereas Eastern culture's a lot more about respect. So you get it.
You Westerners are sloppy, needing discipline in life. You lack control of yourselves and of the mic.
Alright, so
Expected from men who speak of wisdom with no clue of what respect is.
You Western.
Alright, so he's saying you're sloppy. 'Cause, you know, Eastern philosophy is a lot more just simple, organized. So you're sloppy, you're rambunctious, and
Westerners are sloppy, needing discipline.
needing discipline in life, because discipline is another big thing in Eastern philosophy. Having self-discipline, harmonizing yourself with the world around you. You know, Buddhism is big on that. All that. It's just a different culture, a different way of life. So they're saying you need order, you need structure, you need respect. You need to stop being sloppy, crazy Westerners.
In life. You lack control of yourselves and of the mic.
Okay, so lacking control of yourselves, a lot of the writings of these Eastern philosophers about controlling everything, controlling yourself, and that's like the key to all. And so he's saying, not only do you not control yourself and your own actions, which is like what you should seek to do, but you don't control the mic either. So he's dissing his raps and dissing the philosophy, blah, 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 blah.
While we use precise strikes to disrupt your concentration.
All right, so we use precise strikes to disrupt your concentration. That's going kind of to what I was talking about, where Western philosophy is a lot of just talk. There's a lot of words to make you seem smarter, and just a lot of, you know, we need to get the 500 word mark on our essay. Whereas Eastern philosophy is just, you know, tidbits, fortune cookie, quick stuff. Confucius say this, like, let's make it organized, diligent, to the point. So he's saying
Selves and of the mic.
While we use precise strikes.
precise strikes. So it's like, ha ha, ha ha. Strategic, specific, concise.
To disrupt your
To disrupt your concentration. Because again, we're going back to this idea of being, of one of the merits in Eastern philosophy is to concentrate, to control yourself. Blah, 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 blah.
concentration. And you and ass whipping our descendants will honor for generations.
This is going back to, again, Eastern culture tradition. Respect your elders, respect your legacy. In the West, it's like, we're smarter than that old idiot now, whereas in the East, if they disprove or change a thought that someone else had, instead of saying that other person was dumb, they respect the groundwork that they gave them and respect those ideas for generations. And so now they're saying that
to disrupt your concentration. And you and ass whip.
Saying that this diss and this battle and this ass whipping will last generations and will be respected and hailed for a long time because of Eastern tradition.
Our descendants will honor for generations. We build a nation
with patience.
And
build a nation with patience. They're all Chinese. So they're talking about filling Chinese culture with knowledge.
Present for living.
You never hold a candle
to the wisdom we've written.
Let's talk about this.
And the present for living.
You'll never hold a candle can have a lot of meanings here. 1. candles were mostly invented in China. It's the first place they were used. 2, they translate this into books and they hold up their books, right?
Hold a candle
To the wisdom
Ah.
nation
with patience.
and the present for living.
But you'll never hold a candle
To
All right. Anal X, butt stuff. Not really, but anyway. So that's book 1.
the wisdom
Taoism, that's his.
written.
Art of War, from, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I'm terrible with names. Hold on. I'm going back to pronounce his name right.
Sun
Sun Tzu, Art of War. He wrote The Art of War.
and confuse battles. Rock battles of history.
Where was I?
Lao Tzu,
Alright, so
Sun Tzu,
Sun Tzu, Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu,
and
Confucius. K. Gotta get my names right. I'm terrible with names usually, especially confusing names. So, let's go back to where we were.
For honor for generations. We build a nation
Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu, Confucius.
with patience.
and the present for living.
But you'll never hold a candle
To the wisdom
Alright, so going back to the books. Sun Tzu, Taoism. No, dang it. Lao Tzu, Taoism.
written.
Sun Tzu, Art of War. That's how we're gonna pronounce them. I don't care. But let's go back into all these meanings. So you have the fact that China had more printed works and printing press earlier. And so they could also be saying here, can't hold a candle to the books we've written, is they literally can't hold a candle because they didn't have candles to the books because they didn't have books that they've written. And so also hold a candle to something means like you can't compare to it. That's just a phrase. But it could be doubling for you literally can't hold a candle because we made candles and you don't have them and you don't have books, so you physically could not hold a candle to the books we've written because you didn't have the candles or the books, except for Nietzsche. He would have been able to. Woo!
I'll give you something you can bow and kowtow to.
Bow and kowtow too. So kowtow and bowing, it's like a form of respect where you're like hunched over in like a yoga position to a elder or superior.
To the wisdom written.
I'll give you something you can bow and kowtow to. And I squat down and squeeze out a Tao of Pooh and Lao Tzu.
Alright. A Tao of Pooh on Lao Tzu. So Lao Tzu, get Taoism. So this is a Tao of Pooh, essentially, you know, like taking a dump on him. But also Tao of Pooh is an old Winnie the Pooh version of Taoism to try to make it simple. This is a thing that exists. So he's just basically saying he's going to dump on you while also making fun of Taoism being reduced to Winnie the Pooh literature.
So you need to take control of the life you're giving. They call me ubermensch cause I'm so driven.
Alright, so now he's kind of flipping because they said you don't have any. He's flipping the script on the Eastern Philosophers because he's saying you're talking about like being sloppy and having control, but
All of the life you're giving. They call me.
he says call me ubermensch because one of the things Nietzsche talked about is that instead of acting like here's the world, it's suffering and terrible, which is what Buddhism and like Christianity and many religions taught, that the world is rough, but you either need to seek enlightenment or wait for the afterlife. But he's saying, screw that. If you take the mindset of ubermensch, however you say it, then what you're saying is you seize life and you say, whatever, this might be what the world looks like, but I'm going to change it so that I can enjoy it and it's better. And so he's flipping the idea that the Eastern philosophers said you're sloppy, you don't have any discipline. He's saying, I don't need discipline when my drive is to control everything and be so driven that I reshape reality itself to my whim so that life isn't misery and woe. That's a flex there, boys.
Ubermensch cause I'm so driven.
And driven, you could also use for like, not just driven to change everything, but you wordplay for car stuff and Germany.
Free thinker, so confronting conformists like you, it's my job. Got a sharp wit like a spit, it'll skewer you like a Confucius kebab.
Let's go.
They call me Ubermensch cause 'cause I'm so driven.
Yeah, he's a free thinker. Cool. Moving on, you get it.
So confront.
But confronting conformists like you, because a free thinker will confront conformists. He's saying you need to have free and open mind. There's nothing more conformist-ish for a free thinker than Eastern philosophy, where it's all respect, order, do the things you're told to do. He's like, no! I need to not be a conformist like you.
Confronting conformists like you? It's
And literally, it was his job to confront conformists. That's what he did.
my job. Got a sharp wit like a spit.
Sharp wit like a spit that'll skewer you, so double for like rhymes and spit, as well as spit and skewer.
Skewer you like a
Confucius kebab, shish kebab, Confucius kebab, wordplay.
shish kebab. Oh, you fucked the mission. I beat.
I wanna go home. I am home. I'm stuck home forever.
My job. Got a sharp wit like a spit. It'll skewer you like a Confucius kebab.
Oh yeah, sharp wit as well, because Voltaire was a man of jokes. He got, I think, imprisoned and in trouble for all of his little jokery that he did. He was another troll. Western philosophers like to troll people. That's a thing that smart people do in the West. We just mess with people less intelligent than us. I relate to that. I screw with people and troll them all the time. I'm definitely not an Eastern philosopher. I'm Western. Let's talk to confuse the dumb people and then toy with them. There is a certain joy to that, kids.
Oh, you fucked the mission. I'm beating your submissive ass into submission. You like a Confucius kebab. Oh, you fucked the mission. I'm beating your submissive ass into submission.
So this is just talking about like flub the mission. You didn't succeed. What you're trying to do is they're not going to beat you into submission because your whole stance and being submissive and authority and yeah.
Dishing out more disses and letters and pamphlets and plays have been published.
He published a lot of letters and plays, like thousands, tens of thousands. So he's saying he has more disses than plays that he's been publishing, which is pretty accurate because at this point I'm just kind of getting tired of how many things Voltaire is trying to pack into like 3 words and deciding in my head how much I want to unpack, how much of the history I want to go into it. Moving on. Sorry, dead microphone.
Now that we've covered the 2 yin and yang, I can move on to Jackie Chan.
Oh, you think we could say 3 words in this without 17 meanings? Nope! Okay.
The pamphlets and plays have been published. Now that we've covered the
Alright, we've covered the 2 yin and yang,
2 yin and yang,
which is Confucius and, oh god, names. Not Sun Tzu, Tao Tzu, whatever, Lao Tzu, Su Su, not the sun god of war guy. He's saying the other 2, Confucius and other guy, the yin yang twins. Because they're all like Zen and harmony, and yin and yang is Zen and harmony, and also it's a double to the rap group Yin Yang Twins, because he's about to make a few rap artist puns here.
I can move on to Jackie Chan. Sun Tzu, I'll be picking apart your who with my method, man.
Oh, brilliance, but painful for me. Okay, so after Yin Yang Twins,
I can move on to
he's moving on to Jackie Chan. He's calling Sun Tzu Jackie Chan because of the art of war, and Jackie Chan is, you know, martial artist, Chinese, more adventure and action, so he's gonna call the philosopher that talks about the art of war and adventure and action Jackie Chan, appropriately enough. And then
Jackie Chan. Sun Tzu, I'll be picking.
Sun Tzu, he'll be picking apart your woo. Woo is one of the philosophies of Eastern philosophy. I think one of the things that Sun Tzu wrote about. No, it's not. Wu is where he was from. Sorry. Wu is where Sun Tzu's from in China. So he's going to be picking apart your Wu, your town, your origin.
Picking apart your who with my method.
With his Method Man. Because Method Man is a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. And he just said Wu picking apart your Wu, Method Man, Wu-Tang Clan, picking apart your Wu-Tang Clan and the Yin Yang Twins, and what the hell is happening right now? It doesn't matter how many times I've listened to this. I've always known that all this is happening, but usually I just listen to it, and I'm like, oh, there's so much cool stuff, and I keep going. But the thought of breaking this down has been so dreadful is because I'm like, there's so much to talk about, and so much I don't want to talk about because I don't want to be in this chair all day.
Man, the Seminole General isn't so tough on the mic. All your men must be like you would have.
Seminole General must be tough on the mic because, again, Art of War, so he's just saying, like, you're not actually, you might be the Seminole General in the Art of War, but on the mic you're weak, and your followers are like, what happened? You suck.
Lyrically lucky for history, but you didn't alter the art of rapping.
And he's like, you're pitiful lyrically, so raptist, lucky for history. You didn't do the art of rapping, you did the art of war, so another Art of War reference. Thanks, Lloyd.
All your men must be like you would have. You're pitiful lyrically lucky for history, but you didn't alter the art of rapping.
Bitch, I wrote the art of war, so you bet.
Yes, we know you wrote the Art of War. It's mentioned a lot in this rap.
Lyrically lucky for history, but you didn't alter the art of rapping.
Bitch, I wrote the art of war, so you better get your guns out.
Better get your guns out, because you're going to war. Also could be a play on the fact that China invented gunpowder. It could be a flex there.
These white boys getting burned, cause guess what? Now the sun's out.
Alright, sun, his name. Also, white boys getting burned, because white people burn in the sun. He's the sun. He's out. You're getting burned. Burn is a term for getting dissed in a rap. Let's go.
Asians spitting sick, but no, this isn't SARS.
That ages poorly, because they're saying spitting sick, because you spit sick rhymes in rap. Spit sick. Asians spit when they were sick and spread SARS disease, and the newest genetically related bastardized cousin of SARS is sweeping the nation and keeping us in our houses right now in the form of the boomer doomer. So currently, they be spitting sick SARS again. Just a different type, not technically, but it's related.
Cause guess what? Now the sun's out. Asians spitting sick, but no, this isn't SARS. Loud C, kick the beat. Now Confucius drop some bars.
Loud C, Loud Sue, Louts, whatever. Kick the beat because he's like beatboxing there. Confucius drop bars. Let's listen to Confucius. Confucius say.
Let me be Candide with you, Voltaire. French trip with the egg noodle hair.
Alright. Let's go back.
Now Confucius drop some bars. Let me be
Candide with you, Voltaire. It's spelled that way for reasons. You know what? That one I leave to you guys in the comments. I give you one. I release that reference to the comments. Not because I don't know it. I just like to give you guys something deliberate to write about because I know how much you like to flex your brains in the comment. So knock yourself out. Go ahead and explain to all the normies what the double for Candide is. The straightforward version is it's a play on the word candid, so being straightforward, but there is a second meaning in there. It's actually kind of neat. Fill it up in the comments, geeks. You're welcome.
Candide.
Give your Papa Skeem a mental break.
With you, Voltaire. French drip with the egg noodle hair.
French drip with the egg noodle hair. So French dip is, a dish in France. Voltaire is French. He's making fun of his hair, but the other part of this is French drip is also an old phrasing for a form of STD. Gross thinking about that, but you can put two and two together. Voltaire was a ladies' man, and sexually transmitted stuff was not uncommon for him. Okay.
Your ego's just so distracting. Free speech doesn't mean just keep yapping.
Ego's distracting. Free speech doesn't mean keep yapping. We talked about this earlier. It's been kind of brought up through this battle that the Western philosophers like to talk a lot. And free speech, Westerners like to brag about their free speech. And Voltaire had a big thing about, being open and free to speak and, challenging everything and blah, blah, blah. And he's saying free speech doesn't mean to just not shut up. Now he's going to talk to Nietzsche.
French trip with the egg noodle hair. Your ego's just so distracting. Free speech doesn't mean just keep yapping. And you killed God, so I gotta ask, did he dye your shame when he made your mustache?
Alright, so he said you killed God. Nietzsche never said he killed God. He said society as a whole killed God, and it was not a good thing. And then he's saying, something kind of funny. He's like, did God kill himself, die of shame because of your mustache? So, mustache joke. Hey, a lowbrow joke finally in this battle.
You try to plan a new German psyche, but you just grew hate me, no, they're right.
Alright, we got some Asian racist jokes and some other fun stuff.
Did he die ashamed when he made your mustache? You try to plan a new German psyche, but
Trying to plan a new German psyche. That's probably a play on Nietzsche's later writings, and then when he went completely insane the last year of his life, when he wrote a lot of stuff about shooting anyone who was anti-Semite, and he tried to like reform like how Germans should think. But the Reich took what they liked from Nietzsche and what they didn't, and they actually used his philosophy as part of the indoctrinating of their culture to what they wanted to do. So that's why he says, me no Third Reichy, because Third Reich took Nietzsche's stuff, and used it to push evil propaganda. And also, it's an Asian joke because Asians, me no Reiki, racist, racist stereotype somewhere in the middle there of how Asians often sound when they speak English. L's sound like R's because of their muscle formation in their mouth from their language versus the English language. And so he's making a play on me no Third Reichy and me no Reiki, self-aware dis. You get it. I will say that Nietzsche didn't grow hate, though. It was just he was used to grow hate.
you just grew hate me, no, they're right.
And it all starts with you. You're the father, Socrates. Honestly, I think you owe both of your students here an apology.
Alright, so he's talking about Socrates, you're the father, you owe your students an apology. And that would be a major apology was something that was written Western philosophy thing again. Not going to jump into all of that. But where this would be more relevant for an Eastern philosopher to say is if a teacher apologizes to their student in Eastern philosophy, that is like the ultimate dishonor. Because even if a teacher makes a mistake, they don't want to apologize to their students. The students should just be better than that. And a teacher having to apologize to the student is just the ultimate failure. So that diss coming from an Eastern philosopher is major. And he's saying, like, you misled them all. You owe them an apology. You have dishonored your clan, sir. And now it's all going to go to hell.
You're the father, Socrates. Honestly, I think you owe both of your students here an apology.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a student of this plebe.
Alright, so Nietzsche's like, I'm not a student of this plebe. Socrates was a pleb as well, like a literal plebeian, which is like the lowest class in the Greek society. So, also, Nietzsche wouldn't have, ascribed many of Socrates' ideas in his own.
Don't make Nietzsche come over and put a knee up in your chi.
Nietzsche, knee, play on words, in your chi, play on words. Also, chi, the reason it's a play on words is because chi is like an energy in Eastern philosophy of culture that like is in and around you, and your inner chi, it's Goku, Dragon Ball Z stuff. Just don't worry about it.
Cause I'm N-I-E-T-C-S-C-H-E, and I'll like any motherfucker like my name in a spelling bee.
Alright, so now he's saying, try and spell my name, and he spells it out all dramatically, and I'll end anyone like my name in a spelling bee. In other words, saying, if you try to spell Nietzsche in a spelling bee, especially with how it's pronounced, you're gonna lose. It's gonna be over. I'm gonna end the whole thing. And so he's like, I'm gonna end you in the same way.
I'm toxic like a hemlock sip.
Now he's like, I'm a plebe? I'm toxic like a hemlock sip because, he had to drink hemlock. That was his execution. When they killed him for being a troll. That's what they made him do. So he's toxic like the sip that killed him.
Hang a sandal on the door cause you can suck dick.
Yay, a dick-sucking joke from Lloyd. I feel like it's been a while since we gotten a good one of those. Anyway, hang a sandal on the door because, Greek fraternity houses, often you put a sandal on the door if you're boning. And he's saying you could suck sock's dick. Socrates, also you could use that as you could also put a sock on the door, which means essentially the same thing, usually more for, party of one indulgences, if you catch my drift. So yeah.
Toxic like a hemlock sip. Hang a sandal on the door cause you can suck dick.
Socrates.
Alright, play on words. Sacre bleu, Socrates sounds similar. Sacre bleu is like mother of God or something in French.
Hang a sandal on the door.
It's like the French version of oh my god.
You can suck dick. Sacre bleu, Socrates. You're making things a little tense. Come, let's blind these Chinese heinies with some shiny, bright enlightenment.
Alright, so
Making things a little tense. Come, let's blind these
Chinese heinies butt stuff. And he's saying blind them because the Enlightenment light. Voltaire was part of the Enlightenment, so light, shine light on them, blind them with the light and butt stuff.
Chinese heinies with some shiny, bright enlightenment. I'll not be taught camaraderie from a frog who rigged the lottery.
Frog is derogatory term for French people because of their like ribbity, croaky voice and accent. And rigged the lottery because Voltaire, he rigged the lottery. He did quick maths and broke it.
Make a mockery of ethics, so keep your fat nose in your coffee.
Making a mockery of ethics because, again, cheating the system is kind of not very ethical. And then he says, keep your fat nose in your coffee because Voltaire had a fat old nose and he drank a lot of coffee, allegedly like over 50 cups a day. So either that coffee didn't have a lot of caffeine or this dude was immune to cardiac arrest.
Let me be frank, don't start beef with B. Frank. Who hangs with B. Franks? Giving ladies B. Frank.
Probably from a rap perspective, the best little sequence in here, because in rap and in battle rap, wordplay is always extra points and kudos, even though I think that's kind of goofy. But let's break down why traditional rap speaking, this is a pretty powerful little thing, but from a philosophically deep area, not as much.
You make a mockery of ethics, so keep your fat nose in your coffee. Let me be frank.
So let me be frank is a phrase for let me be blunt. Also, it's important to know that Voltaire, I believe he's Francis Voltaire, so he's literally Frank. So let me be frank because he is Frank. But let's keep going.
Frank, don't start beef with B. Frank.
Don't start beef with the Frank. Again, his name. And he's the Frank. He's the dude, but we got more.
Who hangs with B?
Who hangs with B. Franks. Benjamin Franklin and Voltaire hung out.
Franks giving ladies beef.
Giving ladies beef franks, raising for hot dogs and matches the Franks scheme. But also him and Ben Franklin were notoriously ladies' men. So they were literally going around giving out their beef franks. That Frank scheme, though.
Frank!
I have turned them on themselves. Their chaos is our opportunity.
Alright, so God, the master of war here has been like, haha, I've done it. Let's attack.
Must remember, a bowl is most useful when it is empty.
Now, the Tao is a man. Is saying shit that don't make sense. Sort of does, but not really.
Lao Tzu, I don't mean no disrespect, but you need to fill your bowl with some shit that makes some sense.
There you go, thanks. I'm not... You get it.
Oh, you don't wanna stand in the path of Lao Tzu today. I'll make you move, bitch. Get out the way.
Alright, so now we have another rap reference. Move, bitch, get out the way. You don't want to stand in my way. I'll make you move, bitch, get out the way. Blah, 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 blah. There's some other stuff here, but none of it is as enticing for me to want to talk about right now.
Yo, where in the tradition of rap battles is it written that two dudes on the same team should squabble like some clucking chickens?
Confucius coming in here being like, look, rap battles don't have teams battling against themselves. And in most of ERB's old rap battles, this doesn't happen. So Confucius is like, yo, dude, where is this written? Where did Confucius say this? What the hell?
Man, Confucius, you always trying to put something in its place. Why don't you tell your eyebrows they need to feel better on your face?
So Confucius, again, was all about order and structure and hierarchy. So he's saying you're always trying to put something in its place, saying like you're trying to put us in our place or trying to dad us. And so he's like, then he goes to like grade school insults saying, put your eyebrows in place, because Confucius had eyebrows that were not on fleek, kids.
Okay, I see. You wanna make it like that? I'll smack that warmongering head out of your to-go box hat.
Alright, so now he's like, you want to make it like that? You want to beef with Confucius? Well, I'll beat off your... Well, beat off... Sex jokes! But he's saying, I'm gonna, Get that stupid takeout hat, because, Chinese takeout little box hat, and your warmongering self, so you call him a violent, crazy dude with a stupid hat. Gotta love once they start getting elementary at the end.
You wanna make it like that? I'll smack that warmongering head out of your to-go box hat. So here's the real golden rule. I'm way above you weak rookies. Confucius say you can all hold these fortune cookies.
There you go, because like I was saying earlier, a lot of Eastern philosophy, especially Confucius, is like little tidbits. So he said you can eat these fortune cookies. That's a balls reference, as well as just a double for like all of his insight. You eat these cookies. The thing I appreciate about this rap, aside from all the depth to it, which I touched the tip of the iceberg in this eternally long already reaction. There's just a lot going on here. But I always have appreciated the fact that once they all start fighting with each other, all of like the elegance and a lot of the depth just goes away. And they just start throwing grade school shots at each other. And it's appreciated.
What is winning?
What is winning? There's a philosophical nonsense thing to say.
Who is now?
They did the full who is instead of apostrophe s.
Yoga-san! Abbott! Quiet!
Quiet!
Rap battles of history!
Did we do it? Is it over? I hate my life, 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 I hate my life. Editing this will make me really even more hate my life. I'm not looking forward to editing all this. Oh boy, it's over. It's finally over. I'm sure these comments I will read less than most. People who enjoy philosophy are the worst type of people in comment section. In real life, they can be fun to talk to. In comment section. Unless they're self-aware of how annoying they are. Oh boy. So, that's the Eastern versus the Western philosophers by epic rap battles of history. If you enjoyed this misery, like, comment, links, support, stuff. You get it. You get it. Until next time. I scheme, you scheme, we all scheme for ice cream. Bye!